Hello, my name is Archibald Chesterfield III. I'm a YouTube entertainer and celebrity, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Hello, I'm ArchieLuxury and welcome to the program Fuckers. And today I want to talk about how do you lightly detail a wristwatch. Let me set the scene. I've just come from exotic Singapore, and you know, I gotta tell you the honest truth there. It is very humid and hot. So when you wear a precious metal watch like a Patek Philippe World Time, you end up coming back home with quite a, it's kind of, you know, it's not as clean as you left because you sweat a lot, and what happens is, presto, your beautiful piece gets grimy and dirty. It gets grimy and dirty. So, you know, I want to talk about how to do a light detail. We all know about detailing your car. You wash it, you wax it, you can clay bar it. There's procedures you can do. Why can't we do the same attention to detail with one of our very precious, very beautiful wristwatches? Why not? Why not indeed? And this video here, I'm going to show you how to detail a very nice dress watch. I'm going to show you. This is my Patek Philippe 5110 World Time. And I'm going to show you how to clean it up, how to get the case looking nice, and we're going to be very careful because a lot of these dress watches aren't terribly waterproof. I mean, the World Time itself, we've got two areas where water could come in. We've got the crown, which is not a screw-in crown, and we got the pusher, which moves the time zone. So we've got to be a bit careful. We want to be a bit careful with what exactly we do with this piece. And these rules here, these rules we can follow to get our piece looking really, really schmicko. So I want to show you how to detail a high-class, high-end wristwatch to make it look really as good as possible. So this is a home detail which you can do at home in the convenience of your lounge whilst watching ArchieLuxury, and just to get your beautiful piece in perfect condition. So this is just a small detailing job. Now I'm also going to make a few other videos on different watches. I'm going to, obviously, first one's going to be how to detail a high-end dress watch. That's precious metal on a leather strap. I'll do one on how to detail a waterproof sports watch, and also a non-waterproof chronograph on a steel bracelet. How would you handle each of these differently? So this is the program. This is the how-to know-how. ArchieLuxury. Stay tuned. Okay, we want to detail this watch. So first step is to remove the original leather strap. And I say this because if we want to polish, we want to just clean all the dust and grime out. I mean, what seems to happen is we seem to collect all this grime. Seems to collect between the lugs and that there. So to really do this properly, the best thing to do is to remove the leather strap. The other reason we want to do this
is also so that we can treat the leather as well. We want to give it a little bit of a conditioning service. Fuck. The pin spring bar lug just came out. That's why it's good to do this on carpet, so if it does fall, you're not going to fucking damage that genuine paddock spring bar. Come on, you little fucking bastard. Where is this? Which end is it? Always the case, tricky to find. And I just got it off. So what we want to do now is, with the actual head of the watch itself, we want to give it a clean. And we're also going to treat the leather strap, I should say. So all we're going to do to clean this head here is, we get one of your wife's favourite tea towels. You know, the one she says, don't use my tea towels. And we're just going to clean between the lugs here. Give it a clean. This is a damp cloth, not soaking wet, no soap, just a damp cloth. So we've done the back, just cleaning off all the sweat and grime, and the front. And then we're going to use another cloth to dry it. Here I've got a Rolex polishing cloth. Give it all a... We want to make sure we don't get any water inside this watch, because that would be, well, it's not necessarily a disaster, but it ain't fucking good. So now we're just going to clean. Just going to concentrate between these lugs here. Clean these lugs. Want to get the sweat and gunk out. And just the sides. Make sure we try and avoid where the crown is in there, because we don't want any of that to get water accidentally in. So now we're just going to dry it. So as you can tell, we're just using a damp cloth. We're not using a wet cloth. It's just a damp cloth. And there we go. We have completely cleaned the head of the watch. Just be very careful, because they can be quite slippery at this stage where we've cleaned it. Just clean it. So we're completely drying it now. Completely drying it to make sure we've got no water or residue there, and we want to try and get that as clean as possible. Now the head itself, after we've done this, we're going to use another cloth. This is a special gold, just a very light gold cloth. It's got no, this cloth here is just a very soft storage sort of cloth. Just give it a bit of a wipe over. And presto, that is beautifully ready to go there. So that's our head. So what we've basically done is we've removed all the sweat. We've cleaned the front, the back, we've cleaned between the lugs, and we've cleaned the sides, and we've deliberately avoided getting anything near the crown or any buttons or holes if you've got like a perpetual calendar or an annual calendar. So there we have it. That's the head has been, we're just getting rid of all the grime and gunk off it. The next part is with the leather strap itself. So what we're going to do now is, now you can take this completely off, but there's a screw to undo. You don't really want to do that, but I don't mind taking this off the strap. So I'll just very carefully remove that. Okay, that's off, and what we'll do is we'll give the buckle with this damp cloth. We'll just clean the gold nicely, just to get that nicely, removing any sweat or salty water from our body. That's it, that done there. Immediately now we'll use the Rolex cloth I had here. This is a, just get it dry. Okay, looking beautiful, all trim and proper. And then we'll just use our final cloth here, which is the soft polishing gold cloth, just to get it absolutely superb, and we can lock that in. Now with the leather strap itself, how are we going to prepare that? What are we going to do? Well, all we're going to do is, we're not going to always, water is the enemy with these straps. We've still got the damp cloth. Just give the leather strap a bit of a clean, and underneath give it a clean. Then immediately we'll go straight to our other cloth. Just give that a, just work the leather just to get the water off there, get it dry, and we'll also work the other side there just to get rid of any residue there. Okay, that's quite nice, that's beautiful. And we'll also do the other part same way. So we'll get our damp cloth, we're going to wipe this over, wipe it, wipe the other side as well. And then we're going to dry it with our other cloth straight away. Just work the leather a bit just to get it nice. Okay, it's just getting rid of any moisture. We didn't ever submerge it, we just basically just wiped it down with a fairly damp cloth. So there's one more step. Let's have a look at that. Okay, the final step is we're going to use a little bit of leather conditioner on the leather strap. Now we're going to use a very, very minute amount. We're not going to drench it, just going to use a little bit. And the best way to do this is basically just dip your finger, just a very, very, very small amount, and then we can just run that in itself there. Run that in. This is just a leather conditioner. Now, if the strap is really, really new, I'd probably avoid doing this. This is only if the strap's sort of on its way out. You want to get a bit more use out of it. Okay, so that's done there. Now, that good tea towel that we were not supposed to use, we just very quickly just work that in there, just to dry off excess. We just want to dry off excess. And what we'll do is we'll just let that work its way into the leather, and then we'll just give it a very light buff in a few hours time. So there we go, that's that end done. Be a bit careful when we're doing the end with the clasp on it, because we don't want to get that gunk, don't want to get that onto the clasp which we've just cleaned. We'll just work it in there by hand. Worked it in by hand. Then we'll use this good tea towel and we'll just work it in there, just so that it just gets rid of excess. We've got nothing lying there, and it'll dry, and then we can ever so lightly give it a little bit of a a polish with a dry cloth. There we go. That's looking really beautiful. So let's let that dry, then we'll put the watch back together. And then we'll give it a, actually before we put it back together, we'll give it just a little light buff on the leather strap. Okay, now we've just going to assemble this very quickly. So it's just a matter of putting the pin into the hole, and then there's a little spring bar lever here. Push that in so that we can get this little fucker. Fuck me dead. It's always hard to do on camera. Always harder to do on camera than when I did the rehearsal. It was fine. Okay, so push that in. Presto. You can hear it pop in. And now we'll just put the other end in. Putting the other end in here, just ever so carefully. Okay. Again, we're going to push this little lever down. Again, it's always hard to do on camera. It's a psychological thing, I think.
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece, we adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. And 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.
And presto, we've put the bugger together. So now all we want to do is now, with it together, just give it a very light buff. And there we go, one paddock which has been lightly detailed. There we go, one Patek Philippe, lightly detailed. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. If you thought it was silly, you didn't like what I did, come and give me some pointers, fuckers. Coming back the next day, we can just have a look at the put together watch and just very lightly just give the leather strap a very light buff. Very light buff, just to get a nice bit of a polish from the conditioner. Then just turn the cloth over. Give the beautiful watch a wonderful clean over to remove any last minute fingerprints. And there we have it. A detailed watch. Now, we could go to extra lengths. We could actually use cotton buds for certain bits if necessary. But this has just been an example of how you can detail your watch. And once it's detailed, it's ready for you to take a photo, put it back into its beautiful box, and don't touch the fucker. Don't smudge it. Don't get that bastard dirty. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at how to detail your watch. Tell me what you think. What do you think of it? And you'll never get the scratches out. You've got to, you'll never get all the scratches out there, but you can get it nicely polished. And it'll look $1 million. $1 million, fuckers. ArchieLuxury for the ArchieLuxury channel. Tell me what you lousy, miserable, nasty, vicious, brown vinyl, cheap fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great vid.
And there we go. We have one beautifully detailed Patek Philippe. Absolutely beautiful. All cleaned, all done, and not a fingerprint or a smudge in place there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put it to Betty Bye, put this baby to Betty Bye. So we're going to put it into its box so it can sleep, and have a little bit of a quiet time. So we just want to make sure we're not going to touch it with dirty hands. Let's clip it in place, put it on the pillow, you little shit. And there we go. All set to sleep in the box. Beautifully done. Look at that. Patek Philippe, world time, going to sleep. Nighty night, baby. Love you, world time.